So Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do. Just out of curiosity, what happens if you look at history and like look at previous text? Oh yeah, nothing weird out of ordinary there. Okay. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean,
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then I hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I instead use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here. God, Ricky, you still in my line? That's crazy.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before.
That's so romantic.
It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready? Casey, I almost want you to voice act like Natsuki, like just off screen, just staring at us. Like, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
It's like, it's sad without your voice here.
I am here. I'm listening.
Eh?
Turn the page.
Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's
See,
face
always
again,
listening.
and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit, which is not great for this book here that she was talking about.
It's a beginner book, Ricky. I'm sure it's fine. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head.
Yuri, are you feeling alright?
Uh-huh.
Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. This is not the same. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about?
Steve? Did something happen just now?
Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
Oh, so you don't know anything?
Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her?
Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure you didn't do anything to her.
No, nothing.
Don't worry. I believe you, silly. Vine boom. Yuri, just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming.
Alright, if you say so.
Yuri moment. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other?
Shouldn't we wait for Yuri?
Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag.
Very curious about this book.
Who should I show my poem to first? Casey, what do you want? You want to read?
Yeah, we can go Natsuki.
I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first.
Will it be the same?
We're gonna find out.
Steve, if you're not gonna take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Harsh.
What? You expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer.
Bro probably just Googled it.
Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about?
Fine.
Sometimes Steve says some completely sensible
sorry.
things.
You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. It's the same.
Cute poem.
Yeah. Told you that you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
Baka?
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously.
I
But
take
it's-
your writing
it
seriously,
isn't-
Casey.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express
Nope.
themselves?
Nope. But isn't
think
the
you did a good
point
job.
of poems for people to express themselves?
That's hard.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves?
Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice thing about writing simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then I made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her.
It's Monica. Hi, Steve. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Steve. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know?
Mm.
Speak for yourself.
Ricky,
What's
are
that
you
sort of
okay?
barrier?
She's talking about Yuri.
What are you talking about? What's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon?
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
Mm-hmm. Great job, Steve. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. You read it really fast. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. I'm not clicking Vine Boom again.
She doesn't deserve it, so good.
Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? We picked all 20 words that she loves. Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time.
This is new. Suddenly, the door opens.
Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Uh-huh. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now?
No.
Don't worry, I'm not very good.
Yeah, I don't want to read your poem, Monica, you bitch.
I want to read my poem to you, please. Let me. Pretty please. Pretty please.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Sorry, my alarm went off. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see. Well, let's read it then.
Is this the same? Or, you know, it seems familiar. Let's see.
Yeah, it's the same.
Wait.
I don't think it's the same.
Just to be safe, I'll read it quickly. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, no, this is Midia's res. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears? Room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what do you think?
It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten really, pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When you performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany? Oh, I think this is old.
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, you see, we have to all be good friends. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. You try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. Keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Oh yeah, now it's Harry's turn. Un momento, I'm fixing the lighting issue. Go on.
As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Oh, my eyes are lightning. Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, then ends up covering her whole face.
Did I do that?
I hated that, James.
Ooh. He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
Eh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly and then looks at my poem again.
No, it is just 20 words on a piece of paper. Well, I knew that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah, I can only read at half speed when there's only one page. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to make a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened.
Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert.
That's because I am an expert. Of course, there's nothing you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club?
Of course it's a literature club. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back.
This wasn't the first one.
First one? I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting.
What? I wasn't thinking about that at all.
But it took you a long time to read.
Ah. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Yeah? That's a relief.
Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Steve.
Really? He's so stupid.
Yes.
I must have totally missed the point.
Well, you did. Go on, that's what she said. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simpler story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in our last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
Yeah? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive, too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know... I was really nervous about doing all this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Steve.
Ah. Me too. What a response.
So wholesome. It's Steve. Steve Harvey moment.
Phew. Steve Harvey. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even
Most stressful game of all time.
Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly.
Casey.
What's with this language?
Eh? Did you say something?
Oh, it's nothing.
Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand.
I guess you could say it's fancy.
Ah, thanks. Yours is cute.
Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feelings of giving up. How can that be cute?
I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice.
Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all.
Well, I do have a couple suggestions.
If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it. And Steve did too.
I did like it.
So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all...
Excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing skill. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Steve liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it.
Natsuki suddenly stands up.
Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri.
That's not what I...
We got boing boing music.
Fun, happy times. Ooh. You're just...
Yuri stands up as well.
Maybe you're just jealous that Steve appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours.
Huh? And how do you know? And how do you know he appreciated my advice more? Oh, how do you know he didn't appreciate it more? Are you that full of yourself?
No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy.
Well, you know what? Here it is. I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Steve started showing up.
Natsuki? Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. And Natsuki said also, taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki.
Oh.
Me?
Oh.
Look who's talking, you want to be edgy, bitch!
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, they're talking, Ricky. You gotta keep clicking. Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend.
Christ.
See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know.
If you want to prove something, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality by just dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try.
Whoa, be careful or you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you?
Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the heck is wrong with your head?
Yeah, go on. Let Steve hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this.
Suddenly, Yuri turns towards me as if she noticed something, as if she just noticed I was standing here.
Steve, she's just trying to make me look bad.
That's not true. She started it.
How? Oh.
Who's right?
I
Who do we agree with?
Right?
I pick Yuri.
Alright. If we're going Yuri, let's go Yuri.
It did not like me picking Yuri.
Oh, try it again.
It does not. Oh, it's zooming in. Should I try it again?
Yeah, just keep trying it. There's
Oh.
no...
Oh, this is a stack trace.
Yeah, it's a genuine issue. Ignore, I guess. It crashed.
Quit.
That's funny. That is not part of the game.
Is it not?
It's not part of the game.
James,
so that was a dead ass
that?
stack trace, is what you're telling me.
Because this game, the original version of this game, which you guys are playing, is made in RenPy, I think is what it's called, and so that's the Python RenPy's error handler when something goes wrong.
Yeah, but you can code that into a game.
You can. In fact, we saw little bits of it earlier when something happened, but that one was not intentional.
I don't know with this game, to be honest.
I'm telling you, as video game expert, that was just a genuine glitch. We should restart
the game. We'll definitely restart, but I don't know.
Since we read the text, so we should be able to just skip to the choices.
Depends on how far back it fucking saved.
We saved not too long ago, and again, if you click skip, it should work fine.
What a good.
I think there's something wrong with your title screen, Ricky.